All right, today we're diving into something pretty fascinating, a totally different way to look at ourselves. Think of it like an invisible blueprint that's quietly running the show, shaping every single one of your experiences. So let's get into the architecture of you.
I mean, really think about it. You walk into a room and bam, your energy just shifts. You have one conversation and you feel totally settled and clear. And then you have another and you feel completely frazzled. We all know this feeling, right? But what is actually going on inside our system?
Well, what if the answer isn't in our thoughts, or personality, or the stories we tell? The model we're exploring today says the reason is structural. It's about the very architecture of how you and I are built. Okay, so here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to start with the big idea of this invisible blueprint. Then we'll break it down into its 3 core layers and the 7 rules that run the whole thing. We'll put a special focus on a really key one, the law of connection, and then we'll look at how you can actually use all this to feel more stable and clear in your own life. So first up, the big picture. We are talking about a model called human architecture. And you can think of it as a structural map for what it's like to be human, happening underneath all the noise and all the stories we tell ourselves. And just to be super clear, this has nothing to do with your mindset or your personality type. Nope. Human architecture is the fundamental, universal wiring that dictates how you function, how you sense the world, how you make sense of it, and how your body automatically responds. You could almost say it's like the physics of being human. So how is this map even organized? Well, it's all built on 3 fundamental layers. And these are really the 3 dimensions of your entire experience. What's happening within you, what's happening between you and other people, and what's happening around you in your environment. Okay, so that first layer is what we call the baseline within. This is your internal landscape, your physiological state, how fast you can calm down after something stressful, and what your attention just naturally gets pulled toward. This layer basically determines how reality feels from the inside out. Next up, we have the baseline between. Now, this isn't just about the words you say to people. This is your relational structure. It's the invisible physiological dance that's happening between your nervous system and someone else's. It's all about co-regulation, that subconscious process where you are constantly influencing and being influenced by the people you're with. And finally, there's the baseline around. This is the architecture of your environment, the rhythm of your day, the pressures of your job, the sounds and sights in your home. This layer shows us that our surroundings are not just some passive backdrop. They are an active, participating part of our human system. Okay, so we've got the 3 layers, within, between, and around. But how do they actually interact? That's where these 7 governing laws come into play. Think of them as the non-negotiable rules of the entire structure. Now, these 7 laws, they govern everything from your physiological state to your sense of rhythm and integrity. But here's the most critical part, right there at the bottom. They are structural, not moral. These aren't rules you should follow. They are principles that describe how your system already works. Just like the law of gravity, you don't get a vote. And while all 7 of these laws are absolutely crucial, today we're really going to zero in on number 5, the law of connection. And for a good reason. You can think of this one as the keystone. It's the central piece that literally holds the entire architecture together. Just let that one sink in for a second. Humans regulate through relationship. Our ability to find stability, to feel steady and calm, that's called regulation. And it is not something we do alone. It's a relational process. Our systems are fundamentally designed to find balance through connection with something else. And this law, it's at work across all 3 layers of your architecture. It's about the quality of connection you have with your own internal state. It's about that co-regulation that happens with others. And it's even about your sense of connection and rhythm with your physical environment. See, it's the thread that ties everything together. So, this is all great information, but what do we actually do with it? Well, this is where we shift from just understanding the theory to actually putting it into practice. Because when you understand your architecture, you can start to restore your balance, or what this model calls coherence. Coherence is the name of the game. It's that sweet spot when all 3 layers of your architecture, within, between, and around, are all aligned and working together smoothly. And the biggest takeaway here is that coherence is not a mood you have to chase. It's a structural condition you create. It's the natural, effortless result of an aligned system. And this slide, this is so powerful because it shows you exactly what that shift in perspective looks like.
Instead of labeling yourself with a story like, I'm anxious, you start to observe your structure. My system is in a state of protection. It's that move from self-blame to having a useful blueprint. It takes you right out of judgment and into objective awareness. Honestly, it's a total game changer.
And there's even a process for getting there, called the baseline method. It's a really clear 3-step path. First, you reset your internal state to get regulated. Then you realign your relationships and your environment. And finally, you recover, rebuilding your system's capacity and resilience. It's a direct route back to that state of coherence.
So, let's bring this all home. What does it actually look like to live your life with an awareness of your own architecture every single day? Well, I think this is the most profound shift of all. You stop asking that painful question, what's wrong with me? And instead, you start getting genuinely curious and asking, what does my system, my entire structure, actually need right now to find its alignment? And so, that leaves us with this final thought to chew on. What could possibly change for you in your health, in your relationships, in your work, if you shifted all that energy you spend trying to analyze and fix your story, and instead, you just started supporting your structure? What becomes possible then?